tell you about what happened today. Nigeria's climbed 5 spots and the 2024 Transparency International Corruption Perceptions Index, ranking 140 out of the 180 countries with a score of 26 out of 100. Might be a low score, but it looks like there is an improvement in the ranking. But what does this mean? This marks slight improvement from the previous year when the country ranked 145th with a score of 25. The index published today measures perceived levels of public sector corruption on a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 indicates high levels of corruption and 100 means very clean. The organization defines corruption as bribery, diversion of public funds, misuse of public office for personal gain, and the inability of governments to contain corruption. Tonight, to give us insight into this latest report, the Transparency International wing in Nigeria, headed by Mr. Rafsanjani, is also the executive director of CISLAC, is live for us here in Abuja. So thanks so much indeed, and it's good to see you.
Thank you, and good evening, Nigerians.
Is the perception looking better compared to 2023?
Well, I mean, it's better than to remain stagnated or than to backslide, even though it's not a significant improvement. But I think, we should also appreciate and celebrate the effort, collective effort that has been put in place, by the country in order to attain this, even though it is just one score different. We believe there are a number of reasons that even help us to reach this report. The number of prosecution that has happened in the country, the number of recovery that have also happened in the country, and the resilience of the civil society to insist that we must do the right things. These are some of the pointers that actually give us this opportunity to even rise up. But I think also the determination by the various anti-corruption agencies to continue to do this work, even at the expense of their life. You recall that some of them have been killed. And if you look at the security, the police, the army, they are being killed in this country, and no even national honor for those people that are sacrificing their lives. And, they continue to see how they can contribute towards eradication, the menace of corruption, because corruption has seriously devastated, and led to underdevelopment in the country. In fact, it actually brings about the risks in the security sector, because when you have, corrupt public officials allowing arms and ammunition through our seaport, our border, our land border, for some for unfortunate people to come and be killing Nigerians, and even money is budgeted for the security is not actually, accounted for, like we've seen in so many instances where even the money is being stolen, and even Nigerian government had tried some of the people. In the UK, recently also there was another scandal where money that is meant for violent ammunition actually was diverted. So with all this, situation, you see EFCC, ICPC, every day they are working to ensure that the country is rid out of corruption. If you look at the number of the security personnel that got killed, and not any sympathy is even coming from the government, is so devastating, so bad. Then you have life insurance. So, and civil society also continue, despite the bullying, attack, intimidation, harassment by those who benefit from corruption in the within the maybe perhaps the public officials. They continue to agitate and demand for improve, in the governance system in the country. The level at which some people are buying even appointment or using dirty money to capture power during the election will continue to, slide us back. And that's why we have to wake up and save our country, save ourselves from the disaster of corruption.
Mr. Rafsanjani, let's break it down. The past government had criticized TI, and when you speak and when reports come out, it's as if it's Transparency International against Nigerian government. When they say, oh, we're making effort, Transparency International is biased and all of that. Let's make it clear. In your report, you had, in the synopsis, you have said that this is done by reputable independent organizations.
Yes.
And that they look at a lot of variables and indices to judge this. So in any sense, it is what we can go home and believe, isn't it?
Absolutely. So let me also make it clear. Transparency International Corruption Perception Report is not making an assessment of the work of the anti-corruption agencies in Nigeria, vis-a-vis EFCC, ICPC, Code of Conduct, and INDBIN, NFIU. No, it is actually looking at corruption in public sector. You will agree with
issues
me.
of bribery.
Yeah,
racketeering, contracts.
Absolutely. You will agree with me that many Nigerians cannot even apply for admission in the university and get it on merit.
Is that also captured?
This is all part of the public corruption thing that we are talking about.
So it's basically corruption in the public space.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are not assessing the work of EFCC or ICPC, no. We are looking at how Nigerians are every day facing extortion, corruption. If you go on the street, because of 200 naira, some happy policemen can kill you if you don't pay that. For you as a driver carrying load from the north to the south or vice versa, if you don't, have money to be paying, on checkpoint, you are likely to suffer in the hands of those happy guys. Secondly, if you are looking for anything, including bed sick in hospital, you are likely going to be confronted with corruption there. So these are things that Nigerians are facing. So they are not manufactured, they are not things. So anybody who is coming to dismiss this, issue, why is EFCC every day arresting people if there's no corruption in the country? Why is ICPC arresting a lot of people? ICPC have been collecting money back from the National Assembly and contractors who claim to be doing constituency project that they didn't do. Go and check. ICPC have recovered billions of naira, from the hands of some public officials. In fact, the level at which these agencies are working, it's just that Nigerians, they don't actually understand how much sacrifice they are making to make it better.
Yeah, just for a lot of Nigerians to understand the extent and the depth of the report that you have released. People imagine that we're talking about the billions and the big monies, not knowing that some basic things, as though you're coming into the country and you find 5, 6, 7 agencies of government asking, bros, what do you bring? You go to an agency of government, you just want to file for simple things as birth certificate. They ask you, what do you carry? And you go to every checkpoint and you see police literally are not even asked, they are not checking anything, no intelligence, nothing. No. The only thing is you wind down your glass and the next thing is, okay, bless us there. Yeah. I mean, are these also manifesting or contributing to the perception of corruption in Nigeria? Absolutely.
When we talk about public sector corruption, we are talking about, public, agencies and conduct. And you could see that from the the higher institutions to the hospitals or healthcare system to even electricity, do you know how much we have spent in the name of power in this country, and yet Nigerians are in darkness? Do you know how much Nigerians have spent in the name of water project in this country? Do you know how much, peak interventions we have done in various sectors, including areas where you have privatized those entities? You are still injecting billions and trillions in the name of, intervention. Whose interest is in that? So I think instead of government officials dismissing this, we should see this as a wake-up call to fix our problems, block leakages. Our financial institutions are still being used to finance terrorism. It's a shame that Nigerian financial institutions are being used to finance terrorism. Yet we say we are fighting Boko Haram, we are fighting insurgency, and yet these guys are not even hiding anywhere. The last government told us that they have names of all the terrorists, financiers, and nobody has been prosecuted to today. So, and look, the oil theft in this country has become like an official, thing that has been accepted. It is only in Nigeria, out of all the oil-producing countries, that anything called oil theft is actually, accepted.
Mr. Rafsanjani, it will be interesting to you that things even when they say meters are supposed to be discharged for free, You see people who say, oh yeah, whatever that you are supposed to collect for free, but bring something for us to facilitate you to get it. You will in fact see efforts of government or non-governmental organization to deliver free items, bedding materials, mosquito net, free. You will see free, but people will still sell it. Rice that's supposed to be distributed as palliatives, free, people will still sell it. But you mentioned some things that are very critical. Before we go into some of the areas you think that we can improve on to help to our perception and help eradicate or take corruption out of the equation, you mentioned the issues that have been weaknesses into us achieving a corrupt-free country. Yes. You said judicial corruption. Exactly. You mentioned state capture and nepotism. You mentioned oil theft and subsidy fraud. You mentioned corruption in the power sector and public procurement, tax evasion and selective tax waivers, shrinking civic space and democratic decline, lack of political integrity, corruption in the security sector, opaqueness of public institutions, and the last one, which is the 10th one, wasteful expenditures. These are 10 that you highlighted, which are the vulnerabilities and the weaknesses of the system that is raising the risk of Nigeria's corrupt nature.
Exactly. So in order to overcome this, and it is possible, you can overcome it when there's a political will to deal with this. For example, we've been calling on the government to ensure judicial reforms so that corruption in the judiciary can actually be eradicated. Right now, Nigerians have lost confidence in the judiciary. You could see how some people are procuring judgment. You could see how some people have turned judiciary into like their personal estate. Deciding, on everything because they believe they have appointed some judges and therefore the judges will give them favorable decision. Secondly, you see how political parties and, electoral process have also become totally commercialized. And, if you are coming to do service, you cannot then turn political, system, the election, to be, a mercantilist thing. It's a business. Many people that got elected, they have to borrow money in many instances to contest the election, which means that when they get there, they have to find a way to recover that. It is no longer a service for the people. Again, when you look at procurement, despite the public procurement law that we have, they are still undermining the public procurement. They are not complying with it. Again, the restriction or the undermining of the civil space, Nigerians are suffering in the hands of those who do not wish democracy to flourish. For example, people express their desire to protest against hunger, poverty, insecurity, corruption, then the next thing you kill them or you arrest minors. The shameful thing that has happened, despite the fact that President has ordered investigation on those officers that have arrested minors, that have also killed people, till today, the parents of these children, nobody has gone to see them. Nobody has compensated them. These are all part of things that is making people to lose hope and confidence in the administrative justice system. Again, you cannot continue to have the kind of political party system that you have. So you have to carry serious reform. Equally important in the security sector, we cannot continue to budget trillion and trillion, yet Nigerians are not sleeping. Yet Nigerians cannot move from one place safely. So where are all the money? Who is taking the money? Why is it that even the official, the security personnel, including police, the army, many of them, they are not well equipped. They are not even given their welfare is not properly given. When they retire, you see them protesting for their entitlement. This is a shame. We cannot continue, in a country that God has blessed like Nigeria with that people, they will serve for 30 years, 35 years, and for them to get their entitlement, they have to do protests. That has to change. You mentioned something that is very critical in part of your positive trend or suggestion to the solutions, yes, which I think is very important. And if the Tinubu government wants to do good and also improve the system, you talk about the digitization of government services. You said the adoption of e-governance solutions, including digital tax collection and procurement processes to enhance transparency and reduce opportunities for bribery. Exactly. Reduction in the interference, human interference in the discharge of government activities
will be very critical.
Absolutely.
Can you speak more on this?
Okay, so we appreciate the effort of Federal Inland Revenue recently and the custom that they have actually discovered 1.something trillion that was not even declared or that was not captured even in the 2025 bill that was sent by the president. But later this month, they were able to say, look, this money is still available. Look, you have multiple agencies collecting taxes that they don't actually remit to government. Even those ones that are supposed to, like, for example, the oil company, they are refusing to pay taxes because of impunity and because of the connivance and collaboration. So we are saying that if we can digitalize all this, especially the procurement process, this issue of man no man, or you just use your position to give the contract to your girlfriend or to your boyfriend or to yourself, because now many of the public officials, they are not even giving any contract to anybody. Many of them allegedly they are giving the contract to themselves, including those ones that, you know, they claim to be lawmakers. Some of them allegedly they are also executing this in through proxy. So if you can digitalize this and make information available, if you go to other countries, everything you click, it is there on the system. You know, why can't we involve technology so that we can reduce corruption? I also appreciate the immigration. Now, you know, you have also, they have introduced a lot of technology that you can actually, you know, obtain your international passport with less human interferences. If we can apply all this into all the sector, it will help greatly to reduce this corruption that we are seeing. Some people, if you don't sleep with them as a female, you will not pass exam. You will not even get admission. You will not even get that job. So why should we be doing this to ourselves? We believe that using technology and digitalization will help, you know, in terms of unbundling this corruption. There was something, you know, started, you know, in the previous administration, whereby all the agencies, the revenue that, I mean, the money they collected is, you know, being actually seen, but somehow everything has stopped. So we were able to identify so many agencies that are putting money into what they call project accounts. Billions of naira will go into an individual in that ministry in the name of project account. So that system was able to begin to identify that, and we recommended the government to stop that. I don't know why they have decided to continue with the game that they are doing. So the country is losing a lot of money through this fraudulent project account.
So, I mean, in summary, and on a final note, so corruption perception under Bola Tinubu in the last 1 year has really improved. That's what it means.
Well, it has improved. At least we are not stagnated. We have made 1 point from 25 to 26. Though we are looking at 100 points, and we are at just, you know, 26. If the Nigerian government can accept and implement the recommendations that we are providing to them, I believe that Nigeria can actually make it. And there's every tendency with all the sacrifice that the anti-corruption agencies are doing. Look at how EFCC staff was killed, you know, in both Lagos and somewhere, I think, in Anambra. You know, nobody, if the president did not even say anything. In other country, if you are doing this to the nation and you are killed, the president of that country will recognize and actually appreciate the effort that we have put.
I see that there is a poor outing from in the region, and you see more of the European countries topping the doing good in this perception. So it's more of an African, West African problem, because more of the countries within the region didn't really do well.
No, it's not only just Africa. If you look at the index, you know, you know, in many of the years we rank America low, we rank Canada low, we rank Germany, Switzerland low. We rank, you know, even, you know, UK low. So it's not just about Africa. It's just that African leaders who benefit from corruption, they are so intolerant. They are not interested to address and block the leakages. Whereas this other country will say, okay, how do we improve, you know, in the areas that we are backsliding? That's what you see with other countries. But in the case of some countries in Africa, their leaders will come, oh, we don't want this. Meanwhile, internally, because you don't need Transparency International to tell you that there's a problem of corruption. ICPC has done its rating, and it shows some agencies like judiciary and the police as top in terms of corruption. Another UNODC with the National Bureau of Statistics, they've also run similar thing, and they found some agencies of government top on, in terms of corruption. So you don't need Transparency International.
Right.
If you are serious about fixing the problem, already in Nigeria, homegrown, system have shown you that there are lapses, there are gaps, and you need to fill up those in. What Transparency International does is simply to wake you up to fix your problem.
We are not happy. To it.
Yeah, we are not happy that our country is not doing very well, because if you travel out, you are being seen, as a Nigerian, not as Shaun or Rafsanjani. No. It is the country. The image of the country is going down, and we have to do everything possible at both individual and governmental level to rescue the situation.
All right. Hawa Rafsanjani is the Executive Director of CISLAC, the partner of the Transparency International in Nigeria. Thank you so much for speaking to this report, and I wish you the very best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.